But the attack on liberal individualism specifically as the greatest cause of problems in our time, that attack is suspect. It's suspicious. It's the mark of racially dubious types, I think. Racially dubious, I mean that. Non-Anglos, including those who cannot get the Anglo spirit. I'm not Anglo, but like Joseph Conrad, I admire Anglo spirit. They cannot imagine a Robinson Crusoe. To be self-directed offends them. To me and many frog friends, the core tenet of any rightism is extreme elitism and discrimination and valorization of soul and blood aristocracy. Very rare men actually who can actually do something without party permission or approval. Faustian man is his own reason. I take much delight in this irresponsible intrepidness. No man is an island, maybe, maybe not. But only some men can tame an island, and for this they will never be forgiven by the congeries of undifferentiated men. Or girls, usually, this annoys me, this lame post-liberal talk. It reminds me of this type of girl who go around talking about, and we are social beings, obviously. We go in pair or in groups, we pair up, and man is a social being, and we all need to belong to something, we all need to feel wanted, and our thoughts are entirely conditioned by language, with social interactions, and so on. I'm not doing the gay self-satisfied voice that such women faggots use and all, but it's this empty sociality for the sake of sociality, which I have repeated is really a devolution of mankind to the dark swamp of pre-Aryan muck existence, celebrated by the tranny makers of the Matrix in their unholy Zion, if you remember. I think it's the second Matrix movie. I like Christianity of a kind because Jesus, he stands alone against the mob. That's how I like to see Christ, a man against the world. Do you understand? One of these ditz girls can't get her mind around that. To them, Jesus is an incel. Do you understand? And not only because he did not get his own, but because the idea to them that you stand against the many, against authorities, against, God forbid, against status, and against status vanity as such, that you're ousted from society and willing to die for your beliefs. To them, that's an incel. It's become this shorthand, right? Incel. Robinson Crusoe. Imagine what a Redditor would think of Robinson Crusoe. So, excuse, you see, they attack my throat now with race. But these are heroes of mine. Robinson Crusoe, Heraclitus, men, as I say, who are whirled into themselves. And now you can criticize me and those like me who say, you can say this is not a social theory. You can say, well, this is all very nice, but it cannot be the basis of a group or a nation or such thing. Maybe yes, maybe no. I actually think it can, because if properly spelled out, all the consequences of this universe of ideas, if I spelled it out for you, it would lead to other idea of rule of the strongest, or rule by contest, including by duel and physical contest, which is a state of things I'd agree to. And any man who believes these things would also agree to it, even if I knew I wouldn't win that contest, because the logic of the agon is fair and noble. But leaving aside this extreme elitism and love of Robinson Crusoe and Achilles, okay, you don't have to go that far, but you can certainly recognize that universalism, cosmopolitanism, science, and love of natural discovery, these things are not necessarily the same things as leftism, liberalism, or so-called individualism. If by that you mean a situation where you become an atomized plaything of the state or its proxies. It doesn't mean egalitarianism in deed or in ideal. You can have a scientific or science-loving imperial state with a universalist morality or belief that is nothing like what we have now and does not have any of the pathologies of the world now. It might have other pathologies, but not these ones. It would look maybe like a modern update of the Roman Empire or of the Russian Empire if it was not, run by ape-freakans. But it'd be something like the Roman Empire that would fully recognize biological facts, biological differences and hierarchies, both between races and within, that would subsume economic life to some extent to the power of the state, in particular to the grand projects of the rulers of the state that would reward human excellence and promote order and hierarchy, but not the haphazard hierarchies from cultures, historical cultures based on religions and other such, but on the true ladder of values as discovered by science and biology, which is the queen of the sciences. And none of this would imply, for example, economic destitution of a working class, or the social atomization or ennui of intellectuals, or the breakdown of the family or of manners or of cleanliness in all its aspects. None of it would imply racial or even national balkanization or Babylonian mixing, on the other hand. These are all non sequiturs. These are pathologies that I believe come from quite different sources. And until such a state can be founded, I hope one day, at least some of us in near future, with my friends, we can found fortresses on edge of world, where we will be the armed party of truth, of science and nature. The party of science and nature, but now armed, and where we can embark ourselves on great ventures and experiments that these pathetic community-centered nations of broken, self-regarding farthuffers can no longer tolerate. They can suck themselves off, while we explore moons of Jupiter and ocean under Antarctica and many such things. This, my hope. So this is why I try on the show to tell you I have a great problem, not just with identity talk, but entire idea of group belonging as that thing that defines a man. Man defined by empty sociality is subhuman. I believe in a race of armed Heraclitus. Very good, I will be right back.